Good morning, 99. It's Mr. Kutke. How are you? I hope kindergarten is well. Here we are, April, the springtime, a great time of year. Let's get to it today. What is our essential question? Well, we're going to talk about what are the forms of matter, the forms or the states of matter. Well, matter is anything that takes up space. So that's everything in our world. But there are basically three states or forms of matter that we live with every day. Does anybody know those three states? So let you take a guess. Okay, let's take a look at those three states. Maybe you have this right. Matter can be a solid, a liquid, or a gas. Solid, let's say if we just use water as the example. Liquid, we have water. As a solid, we have ice. And when it is heated up, quite often we could turn it into a gas, like when we take a shower and the bathroom gets all steamy and it's hard to see. Well, that's water in its gas form, okay? So liquid, solid, and gas are the three states of matter that we'll be dealing with today. A solid takes the shape of the container it is in. So an example, ice trays. They are square. Why are they square? Because the ice trays are also square. So when you pour that water in, it takes the shape of the container, and when it freezes, it mimics that shape. It becomes that shape. If these trays were round, we'd have round ice cubes. If they were triangles, we have triangular ice cubes. So ice does have its own shape, but liquids, I should say, do not have a shape of their own. They can flow. And they will flow and take the shape of any container they are put in, such as this glass right here. Water just takes the shape of the glass. A gas does not have a shape. Gas spreads out to fill different spaces. It's hard to see a gas. Water we can see, ice we can see, but a gas is a little harder. Where can you see gas? Well, you can see it clearly trapped in a balloon. Why does this balloon float? Well, it has to do with the gas that is inside the material, inside the balloon, trapped in there. It is a gas called helium, which is lighter than air. That gas helps that balloon, with all that gas inside it, to pick up the heavy container which holds the people under it. It's very heavy. You need a lot of force, a lot of gas to make it rise off the ground. So we can see gas there. We can see gas on a window. When you wipe that gas away, you can see it in the bathroom, in the shower. After a hot shower, why is the mirror so steamy or so hard to see in? Well, that's basically gas being turned back into water. Let's take a look at some of these ideas about states of matter and how you can have liquids, solids, and gases.
Liquids and gases. And it's pretty easy to tell them apart. I mean, you can't drink a solid, right? And you can't hold on to a liquid. And a gas, they're all around you. But you wouldn't even know it because you can't see them. You might be tempted to think that gases aren't as important as solids or liquids. But without gases, none of us would even exist. Give me a solid and think about the chair or couch you're sitting on right now. What's it like? Does it have a definite shape? Is it soft, hard, A little of both? Can you pick it up? Does it make a sound if you tap on it? What about the computer or device you're watching this video on? Or the bread you ate last time you had a sandwich? Solids are things you can pick up, hold, and feel the shape of. Solids always have a shape. They can be hard, smooth, rough, or soft. They come in all different sizes, from as small as a marble to as big as a mountain. And you can hold them in your hands if they'll fit. Now, let's talk about liquids. The most common liquid is water, but there are a lot of other liquids all around you. Ever had a bad cough and been given cough syrup? That's a liquid. So is vinegar, vegetable oil, chocolate syrup, and the cleaning fluids your parents might use to tidy up the house. The gasoline your parents put in their car or lawnmower? Yep, that's a liquid. So is the sweat that comes out of your body when you run around a lot. Of course, a lot of the liquids we just mentioned are partially water, but they're still liquids. So, can you tell me what all liquids have in common? First, they will always fill the bottom of a container if you pour them in, and they'll take the shape of that container as you continue to pour. They usually have a smooth surface. They can be really hot or cold or somewhere in between, and they don't have a specific size. A liquid like water can fill an entire ocean or the smallest crack in the sidewalk. Okay, now let's talk about gases. Gases are some of the most interesting of all types of matter because they're all around you, but you can't see them. A gas is invisible, has no shape or size, can fill any size container, and has no surface and moves around easily. Oxygen is a gas that makes up part of the air around you that you breathe in. Other gases in the air are nitrogen and argon, not to mention CO2 or carbon dioxide, which is a gas that you breathe out. Carbon dioxide gas gets absorbed by the trees around us. Other gases you might be familiar with are helium and propane. Helium is used to fill balloons, and since it's lighter than air, a helium-filled balloon floats upward. If you've ever seen your parents cooking barbecue on a gas grill, the gas they're using is propane. It kind of goes without saying, but certain matter is easier to go through than other matter. You can swim in a liquid more easily than in a solid. Ever tried swimming in a ball pit? And you can run through a gas like air much more easily than you can run through a liquid or a solid. Here's where the subject of states of matter gets even more interesting. Believe it or not, there's some matter that comes in all three forms. Think about water, for example. Most of the time you think of water as a liquid, but when you freeze it, what happens? It becomes ice, a solid. And what happens when water boils? Ever watch your mom cook a pot of pasta and see the steam rising from the pot? That's water as gas. Here are some other examples that you're probably familiar with. I'm sure I'm not the only one who's had to rush on a hot day to quickly eat an ice cream cone or popsicle before it starts dripping down my arm. When a frozen treat melts, it's because it's transitioning from a solid to a liquid. You can actually smell things turning from a solid to a gas too. Ever smelled mothballs from across the room? Those mothballs are a solid, but the smell hitting your nose, that's the gas that the mothballs are emitting. Same is true when you smell cookies baking or a candle burning. I don't know about you, but I prefer the smell of baking cookies to the smell of mothballs. So, there you have it. Now you're one step closer to understanding the matter that makes up all the stuff in the universe. Wasn't learning about states of matter a gas? Solid! Thanks for following, Thurman.
Oh, there is a little bit about the different states of matter. Solids, liquids, and gases. I think the most interesting thing to know about the three different states of matter is that water is the only natural water is the only natural where all three different states exist. Only in water do we see three different states existing: solid, liquid, and gas. There is nothing else on Earth that is known to exist in all three states. Just a little bit to know about that. Water is where it's at when it comes to states of matter. This is going to be a short one. That's all we had to talk about today, kindergarten, were the three states of matter. So, everyone have a wonderful week. Go to your Google Classroom, watch the videos, read the lesson, and finish the worksheet. Thank you very much, kindergarten. Be good.